AITA for refusing to help my younger brother with his debt. I, 29 male, grew up feeling like an afterthought in my own family. My younger brother, 25 was always the golden child to my parents. While I was expected to be independent, responsible, and self-sufficient, my brother got a lot of special treatment. Whether it was his academics, extracurriculars, or even simple chores, my parents always made excuses for him. They would praise his every achievement, no matter how small, while my accomplishments were barely acknowledged. It became obvious early on that he was the one they favored. Throughout high school, I did everything I could to earn their approval. I worked hard, got good grades, stayed out of trouble, and even took up a part-time job to save money for college. But no matter what I did, my parents' attention always seemed focused on my brother. If he got a B on a test, it was celebrated, while my consistent A's were seen as just expected. And when he wanted to try out expensive hobbies or sports, they found a way to pay for it, even though they told me for years that they couldn't afford anything extra. When I graduated from college, I had hoped that maybe, just maybe, things would change. But instead, my parents sat me down and told me they expected me to move out. They said my brother needed space to grow, and since I was an adult now, it was time for me to be on my own. I won't lie, it hurt. After years of trying to get their approval and support, I was being asked to leave my own family home, while my brother stayed and continued to enjoy their full attention. So, I left and did what I'd always done, took care of myself. I moved to a small apartment, worked a few entry-level jobs, and kept saving. Eventually, I decided to take a risk and start my own business. It was tough in the beginning, but after years of hard work, my business grew, and I found myself in a comfortable place financially. I was proud of what I'd accomplished on my own, and though it still hurt to feel like an outsider in my own family, I'd made peace with it. Meanwhile, my brother's life took a different direction. Since he had always been able to rely on my parents for everything, he never really learned how to handle responsibilities or manage money. He went through multiple phases: expensive hobbies, impulsive purchases, a luxury car he couldn't afford, and a credit card debt that only grew over time. My parents always stepped in to bail him out, enabling his habits instead of encouraging him to make better choices. Even when he got a stable job, he continued to live beyond his means, and any extra money he earned seemed to vanish as quickly as he made it. A few weeks ago, I got a call from my mom, and she seemed unusually tense. After some small talk, she finally got to the point: my brother was in serious financial trouble. Between credit card bills, personal loans, and unpaid rent, he was drowning in debt, and my parents couldn't afford to help him anymore. They told me they felt that, as his older brother and someone who was now successful, I should step in and help him out. They even went as far as saying it was my duty as family to help a sibling in need. When I told them I wasn't comfortable with the idea, they were shocked. My mom started telling me how family should always support each other, how my brother was just going through a rough patch, and that I could easily afford to help him out. But for me, it wasn't about the money. I could technically afford it, but it didn't feel right. My brother's debt wasn't an accident or an emergency, it was the result of years of poor choices and financial irresponsibility. I'd spent years sacrificing and working hard to get where I am, without any real help from my family, and now they wanted me to bail him out without any acknowledgement of that. My refusal didn't go over well. My parents accused me of being selfish and holding a grudge, saying that I was letting my past resentment cloud my judgment. They argued that my brother just needed a second chance to get back on his feet. They even implied that I was only successful because they raised me to be independent and therefore owed it to them to step in now. My brother has also reached out, saying he's sorry for how things turned out but that he desperately needs help, and that he's trying to change. The guilt tripping is intense, and my family has made me feel like I'm abandoning them by saying no. I understand that everyone makes mistakes, and I don't wish any harm on my brother, but I can't shake the feeling that he needs to learn to take responsibility for his own actions. I've been through tough times too, but I had to find my own way through them without the safety net he's had all his life. And honestly, part of me still feels that hurt from being pushed out and ignored for so long. So here I am, torn between helping my brother and standing by my decision to let him deal with the consequences of his choices. AITA for refusing to bail him out.